Quarantine was one hell of a drug. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today our movie in the middle is Bo Burnham's Inside. Yes, this is a comedy special, but I am reviewing this as a movie because that is what this is. Bo Burnham's Inside is the harrowing depiction of Jesus Christ's descent into madness. No, I'm just kidding. Sort of. But really, this movie, this comedy special, is about the famous comedian and artist's take on the last year and how it's affected him, not only as an artist and comedian, but also just as a person with mental health. He took this last year, and what he thought he was going to film in one night, or maybe over a couple nights, took a whole year. He filmed, directed, wrote, shot, composed, edited, everything. He did all of that himself for this special that's an hour and 27 minutes long, and it takes place all in one room. The very first time I ever saw something about Bo Burnham, I hated him because I didn't understand comedy, but because the first thing I ever saw was the song where he jokes about 9/11. It wasn't until I learned that he is a satire comedian and that everything he does is completely an act. That's when I learned, okay, wait, this guy's actually really cool. And then I started watching some behind the scenes of, him talking about his dealings with, anxiety and depression and having panic attacks on stage. And he's actually a really down-to-earth guy. And then he made 8th grade, and he's a really cool guy. So I was very excited to see this because it's just been such a horrible year for everybody. I was like, if anybody's going to have really interesting takes on this and really cool critiques on this, it's going to be Bo Burnham. This is by far his most inventive piece yet. And I say piece because he's done a bunch of different things. He's acted, directed, comedian, but even in his comedy, he does various, music and different bits and little jokes and things like that aren't always just stand-up, comedy, talking, jokes, punchline stories, whatever. And this one is by far his most inventive yet, for many reasons. One, just the limitation of being inside and being by himself and only being able to do things himself. I think Orson Welles is the one who said that, basically something to the effect of the freedom to do anything is what kills creativity. Like, you have to have limitations in order to make something original and good and make you really think. And it really produced a lot of great stuff by being able to only do certain things and only be by himself with a couple lights and a camera. Obviously, the fact that this also was so relatable. Every comedian has bits that they do or stories that they do that they make relatable. That's why it's funny. Or sometimes it's not relatable, and just the way that they tell it is super funny. But when it's something like this, where everybody in the world experienced the same thing over the last year, it makes it a lot more poignant. It makes it a lot more, everything he says directly affects me, directly is related to me. And honestly, at this point, it seems almost taboo to talk about it or joke about it or make a movie about it, because it's like, all right, well, everyone's going to do that. Obviously, this is the thing we've gone through for the last year. Everyone's going to do it. We're tired of seeing it. It's not going to be funny. It's not going to be interesting. Everything's already been said. And yet somehow, Bo Burnham is able to just do more with it and make it incredible. The last reason it's so inventive, and I think the most important reason, is because it's filmed like a movie. Like, that's what he had to do. It's not a live recording of a special he did on stage. This, I think, leads to so much more meaning and the ability to be funnier because of editing and jump cuts and the way he's able to juxtapose things. He can create more implications with a lot of what he's talking about. And another cool thing he's able to do with that is he's actually able to show us throughout all the different bits. He's able to show us behind the scenes of him writing, rehearsing some of these songs, rehearsing some of the lines he's going to be doing, testing lights and testing colors. It's really cool. It also made me super stressed because I can't imagine doing this. I mean, setting up one shot would take forever because it's not just random lighting and you're just focused on the content. It's actually super good lighting and super well done filming and shots as well. And there's so many I cannot imagine trying to put this together myself. and doing it in only a year, with also writing the songs and learning them and learning everything I'm going to say, and even the way that some of the bits are set up. He had to like do something specific, know exactly how that was timed, and then be able to do something else specific in like with that as it's going on, but he couldn't do that until this was finished. It was like, how did you do this? And it was amazing to be able to see a lot of his thought process as well, which I think really goes along with the theme of we had nothing to do in quarantine. And so watching him do all of these things, that's all he was doing all day. And I think the most important part is the content held up, if not better than some of his other specials. I mean, I was dying. I was laughing and in tears because of a lot of these bits that were just not only so relatable and had so much meaning from this last year, but were just genuinely so funny. The way he pulls off a song or a line, oh my god, it's just, when you know it's all an act and everything, it's amazing. And just the things that he was doing in this special, I can imagine just somebody looking through the blinds and just seeing this guy like just in his underwear, just, you know, dancing around and having this projector on him, just being like, isolation's really gotten to some people, man. But really, the comedic timing's incredible. The comedy is super funny. And yet, he also perfectly hits emotional moments as well. And sometimes even frightening moments. There are some things he does that I was genuinely like scared, like what's about to happen? Again, it's satire. He has a lot of bits that have to do with suicide or suicidal thoughts. And it's all complete satire. He is very serious about, obviously, take care of yourself. But there are some bits that he does that I'm just like, I don't know what's about to happen here, and then it'll just cut away. And it's like, that was pretty frightening. The way he was able to just even mix some of these, you know, ideas and emotions and concepts to where you're like, I actually don't know if I'm supposed to laugh or not. I don't know if this is supposed to be funny or scary or really emotional, if he's kidding or if he's not, if this is serious and this is genuinely him. I don't know, because you don't have the audience's reaction to base it off of. It's just him. So it's really interesting, and it can get really weird. Like, if you had told me that this was an A24 movie, or you had slapped on there directed by Charlie Kaufman, I would have believed it, because it can get really weird at times. But honestly, that's why I think this one is the best, because like I said, it's better, it has more meaning than just a live recording of a stage show that he did, because it can be more abstract. If I did have one low with it, and it's not even really a low, it's that it can get very repetitive and long, even though it's only an hour and a half. Because, again, there was only so much to talk about during quarantine. But I honestly think that serves the purpose of this, is to show that even after an hour and a half or 45 minutes of this, I was not tired of it, but I was like, is there anything else? And that's what quarantine was, is after about 6 months of this, we were like, are we out yet? Are we done? Even all of the stuff that he repeated in some of his topics, he did them different angles too. And it was funny all the way through. It gave you that sense of claustrophobia, you know? It made you feel stuck. And that's exactly what quarantine did. So not even just in the content, but the way he did everything, the way he set it up, made you feel like quarantine again, which I know we don't want to feel that way, but it was very inventive. After seeing the whole thing and how depressed he was and just done he was with making this thing, I'm sure that if he wanted to stop it, if he thought this is enough, he would have. But knowing Bo Burnham, nothing is by accident. Literally nothing. Like the bit where he drops the water bottle and then he's like, he meant to drop the water bottle.
He meant to knock the water over. Yeah. Art is a lie. Nothing is real.
Everything is on purpose with Bo Burnham. Every single move is thought out and written and planned. So overall, I did not really know what to expect going into this. I had heard it was weird and funny and really well done, and it is all of those things. It's hilarious. It's emotional. It makes you think about a lot of stuff. It obviously makes you think about a lot of stuff you've already thought about, but just said out loud by a person. You know, and just all these frustrations, all these different angles that he thinks, you know, about. He's the kind of comedian who any comedian would try to go up after him and be like, well, you've already pointed out that I was going to say that, so it doesn't make it funny. No one can follow him because he's already talked about The Thing and how people would talk about The Thing. He's so good. I thoroughly enjoyed this. It's definitely the best thing that he's done in the way of comedy because he was able to do so much with it. I'm going to give Bo Burnham's Inside a 4 out of 4, making it my next top shelf movie. So excited I was able to watch this. Go watch this if you're not like about to, have a panic attack over thinking about quarantine. If you can handle that, go watch this because it is just super insightful into at least his thoughts on everything. If you did already watch it, let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, keep your hopes high, your stress very, very low, and please get outside. I'll see you guys later.